Hi YouTube, it's Ange, otherwise known as Pumpkin here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. This video is something a little bit different to what you may be used to. And it is things I wish I knew as a carer before I started caring. Now, this is just my personal ones that I've discovered as I went along. So my experience of caring may not be the same as other people's experiences, but if this video helps just one person, then job done. For those that don't know, I am a carer for a relative. I'm not going to say who. But this person has a number of complex needs, including Alzheimer's and arthritis. So this list is definitely more relative to people who are looking after people with them conditions, but again, it's just my own experiences and you may have a smoother ride. Anyways, I'm just going to dive right on into it. So the first thing is the sheer amount of time you will be spending with that person. I did not anticipate that I would be spending a lot of time with that person. I knew I would be spending more time with that person, obviously, because that comes with being a carer. But literally trying to go for a pee in peace some days can be like mission impossible. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually like this relative I look after. It would be very difficult to do caring role if I didn't like this relative. But honestly, the amount of time that we spend together, it would be very difficult if we didn't get along, because we still row, which I know you're not supposed to do with Alzheimer's, but nobody's perfect. But yeah, we row like cat and dog. And like, if you don't like the person that you're looking after in the first place, it's going to be very difficult. And if you're a person who needs a lot of alone time, like I am, you are also going to find it very difficult. That is one of the main bones of contention. Like, trying to get a 5-minute breather sometimes can be difficult. It's just one of them things you just gotta try and figure out. Anyhow, the next thing would be the battle with the NHS. Don't get me wrong, the NHS is a wonderful institution. I love it. It saved my life on numerous occasions. And I also know that without the NHS, my family would be bankrupt, trying to pay medical bills. But as a carer, I find that most doctors have their opinion of what a thing is and will not be shifted. Now, luckily, my family has found a brilliant doctor who actually now takes the time to listen and refer on to the appropriate things, and you know, it's just generally marvellous. Doctors before them, the person, honestly, if it wasn't for a certain doctor just thinking whatever the hell he was thinking, my relative probably would have been diagnosed a year or so earlier than what she was. And that's a year or so that we're not going to get back. It was a year or so of stress. But not only with just getting diagnoses, like the sheer amount of pills that this relative is on now and trying to keep track of them all. You know, the NHS should not be making that difficult for caregivers. But yet, there's always something that seems to be wrong when you go and get the pills. They haven't got it done. They haven't sent the right paperwork over. They haven't got it in stock. It's just, sometimes it can be a freaking nightmare. But not as much as a nightmare as Mealtimes. Jesus Christ. Mealtimes. not only can it take an hour to actually get this relative to sit down and have a meal, but even giving her two choices of what she wants, it will be like, I don't want that. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Well, pick something from there. No, don't want that. Seriously, mealtimes are the worst. Like, we now have set meals that I know I can just do it and she will eat, and that has made life a bit easier. But at the same time, she would literally just live off cottage cheese and ice cream if we let her. Obviously, we are not going to let her do that, but this is part of the battle, and I have no idea if this is just my relative being my relative, whether it's the Alzheimer's or what, but seriously, just... And another thing I wish I knew about caregiving before I started caregiving would be the amount of times you will spend looking for lost items, be it phones, slippers, keys, false teeth, glasses, clothing. We have tried putting things in place, like having a set place for everything. But if the relative don't want to play and doesn't want to put things where we've asked her to put things, or where she's agreed she's going to put things, just be prepared for the fact that the vast majority of your day will be spent searching for things. Especially as with Alzheimer's, they tend to hoard. So not only are you searching for things, you will find things of your own that they have took, misbelieving that they're theirs, perhaps. I don't know. So you will find things of yours while you're looking for their missing items. Just be aware of that, really. Another thing that I would honestly argue this is the worst thing about having a relative with Alzheimer's, and that is the sundowning. Now, for those of you who don't know what sundowning is, I will leave a proper explanation linked. For me, the best explanation I can give is, if you don't get that relative outside in the daylight for at least 20 minutes a day, your life is going to be hell. Because they will become argumentative more so than usual. Then they will sleep at all the wrong times. Seriously, if you want to get to bed before 2 a.m, get them outside. And even then that doesn't help. But yes, they will sleep at the wrong times. They will get angry and confused and say some bloody awful things. And that's sundowning. It's just... it is the worst. It is. If it wasn't for sundowning, I think I could cope with the rest of it. But, yeah. And as a person without a car, and with my relatives' other complications, getting her outside for 20 minutes a day doesn't always happen. And on them days, I know that bedtime is just also not going to happen. And then the other thing as a carer is you gotta be prepared to take the blame for everything, regardless of whether you did it or not, because the other family members may not be as supportive as you may anticipate and will take the patient's side, or the Alzheimer's sufferer, or whatever. So in order to counteract that, you better be shit hot on getting everything sorted, be it paperwork, bank accounts, getting to the door and giving your side of the story before the person you look after gives their side of the story. Because, yeah, with Alzheimer's they fix it. And unfortunately, the caregiver tends to be the person that they fix it on, and in that case, just be prepared, because you are going to become the daughter of Satan, literally. Yeah, it's not all bad, honestly. I'm just getting the bad out of the way first, because there is a lot of support out there. You just need to know where it is. Now, for myself, I've been incredibly lucky in my area that there is a support group for people with Alzheimer's, and they do lots of activities and stuff that my mum can go to, my relative can go to, and it is out of each other's hair for a bit, which is a godsend, because she gets to go and socialise and it gets her out the house, and I get some time to myself to do whatever it is that needs doing. There's also carer support groups out there. They're very quality. I tried using the forums, it just wasn't for me. I got scared off, quite honestly. But yeah, it's just a case of you need to know what you're looking for in order to search for what you're looking for, and the people in charge don't always tell you what you need to be looking for. But once you find it, it is the best thing ever. Another thing that's important is, well, having a good support system in place, whether that be support groups, whether that be family members. My boyfriend, honestly, is a godsend, because like the amount of times I have sent him a text going, I'm going to kill her, or I'm ready to push her down the stairs, or I need booze, I've lost count of. So you need that person in your life that you can just vent to, get it all out, and then move on. Because, trust me, there will be times you need to do that. You also need to have an almost military level of preparation and organisation. Now, for example, getting my relative out the house. Say she has a 11 o'clock appointment. We start getting her ready at 9. Because they will wander off, they get distracted, they will lose things, even if you have laid them out the night before. They will ask, where are we going? What are we doing? What day is it? A million times. So, like, literally, getting anywhere involves a military level of organisation, but also trying to do things for yourself will also require that level of organisation. Be it just pop into the pub quiz. Like, honestly, I have a checklist before I go out the door. Is she fed? Is she watered? Is there some sort of entertainment on for her? Normally the Netflix. Best invention ever in some regards, worst invention ever in other regards. But for the sake of getting me out of the house, it's great. Stick the electronic babysitter on. Has she got a red button? Does she know where her phone is? Does she need anything doing before I go out? And that is literally to go to the end of the pub at the end of the street. It's not so bad when there's another relative there to take over for a bit. But honestly, like if I'm going to volunteer at the bookshop, that is literally the steps I had to take. Oh, and has Vi left us something to eat that she can pick out of the fridge? So yeah. And try and do something for yourself. Be prepared for the guilt trips. I'm not going to say anything about that. But it's there. And it will happen. And your relative may not intend to make you feel guilty. It could be the other family members. making you feel guilty. Or then your own guilt monkeys come into play. You need to shut them the hell up, because if you spend all your time with that relative, you are going to go crazy. You need an outlet. You need something for yourself. Don't let your relatives tell you otherwise, because some might try. And all I'm going to say to that is, you need to give them that. The last thing I wish I'd been prepared for, honestly, is simply, especially if you're going from a job to looking after a person, that drop of income, it's real. And it's not only the worry about paying the bills, or, you know, for me, my main concern is, like, the longer I'm in caring, like, finding a job afterwards. But not only that, like, my savings went ages ago. The money situation is not great. And I'm lucky enough that I'm in a universal credit area. So I get my universal credit and I get a bit on top for being a carer. I don't know what the situation is for people who are not in universal credit areas. I think you need to claim income support on top of that, on top of your carer's allowance, which, you know, headaches all around. So not only do you need to be aware of the benefits, but if you work, you need to keep them below a certain amount of hours. And then if you claim carer's allowance, it can also impact on the person that you look after's benefits as well. It's a whole minefield that I can't get into, but you really need to research that before you make a decision on being a carer or not. Because, trust me, the money situation, like, you are going to get used to becoming very poor very quickly, and with that, you are also going to miss out on a lot of stuff. And that can make you feel isolated, which is a big, big problem for carers in general. Not only have you not got the money to go out and do stuff anymore, that's if you have the money, do you have people in place to look after your relative or loved one whilst you go and do the thing? Can you budget for the thing? Or what are you going to give up in your life in order to go and afford to do the thing? Yeah, it's real, and it's not something that is talked about a lot. So yeah, now I've terrified you all from being carers. Don't get me wrong, it can be incredibly rewarding, but you need to have the right temperament for it. Unfortunately, you may be able to gather I do not have the right temperament for it. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years with no end in sight. But yeah, so that's been my things I wish I knew before I became a carer. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, leave me a thumbs down. It's all feedback from me at the end of the day. Lets me know what people like watching, what people don't like watching, because at the end of the day I want to make content that people want to watch. But yeah, I've been Ange, and I will see you next time.